Okay, let's just get the obvious out of the way. Um, as unfortunately was expected, my team didn't do as well as I had hopefully thought anyway. So, like a good league, all you bunch of D-bags were very kind and sure to make sure that throughout the week that was a topic of conversation that definitely was not forgotten, nor was it played down in any way, shape, or form. Having heard about the performance of my team on multiple messages and referenced in almost all messages. So, you guys are a bunch of douchebags, and thanks a lot. I am now at least willing to, I guess, embrace what I had originally thought would be a good team is now, unfortunately, maybe not so much what I thought. Anyway, with that said, I thought that this might be kind of a good opportunity, instead of having to write all of this down, to just make a quick video, upload it to YouTube, and then let everybody watch it. So let me just go over the matchups so that I can at least take some of the pressure and the heat off my performance. I'm glad that everybody's so infatuated with my team, but let's move on. And by the way, you bunch of homos, it's week one, okay? It's week one. With that said, the Chief versus D's Nuts, James Stubbs' team, 79 to 108. Hey, James, when you're third from the bottom, it's not really good form to start bagging on the bottom. You're going to need to put up more than about 108 points in a week's time before you can start talking trash to the guy that's on the bottom of the dog pile. With that said, DeMarco versus Team Shirley, Sean's team. Now, Sean has actually come through as what looks like a main contender for this year's championship should his performance stay consistent. He's got a 30-point performance from Julio Jones, and surprisingly, Peyton Manning puts up 29 points. I guess we should have seen it coming. I mean, it is Peyton Manning, but I mean, who would have thought he'd have done that with the Denver Broncos? And frankly, I just don't think the line's good enough to keep him putting up those kind of numbers in the upcoming weeks, especially when he goes up against his next matchup. So we'll see what happens with that. On the flip side of that, I mean, they were playing Pittsburgh, and he still puts up 29 points. So there is something to be said for that. With Team Shirley, it looks like Aaron Rodgers didn't disappoint. Even though their team looks like they're getting some hiccups, it looks like Aaron Rodgers is still good form with 33 points on the week. Unfortunately, the rest of Team Shirley's team did just about as bad. Well, they didn't do as bad as my team, but it was pretty bad. Moving on from Sean and Shirley's game, you've got, looks like you've got Sunday Schooled in Spencer Bogue and High Desert Team Cynical Shane Bentley. Now, this was a fun game to look at after it was all over. Because, I mean, what can you say? It's got to suck pretty bad getting beat by the prodigal son who this award was named after. It kind of looks like Bentley has made a big turnaround. I think all that time in the military maybe gave him some opportunity to figure out what the heck was going on in the NFL, and he looks strong. Well, Team Bane, Rick Johnson, is kind of in the middle of the pack, it looks like, with a lot of other teams, both Spencer's team, Shane's team, and Andrew Stowell's team. Again, middle of the pack. He's playing Josh Bryce, the first comer, as expected. He crushed him by, looks like, 30 points. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with these teams. It looks like in the upcoming weeks, it's still kind of too early to tell who's going to be consistent throughout the rest of the 13 games. Team Master Shake and Spencer Bowe got humped. what can I say about Matthew Humphries? Um, I don't really hear him talk much in person, but he does talk a lot of trash on the message boards, which I appreciate. I do appreciate that, Matt. And, at this point in time, after the first season, there's not really much I got coming back with because Matthew Humphries was the league's leader this week with 168 points. Just to give you a breakdown of what this guy put up, he's got Matt Ryan in at 40 points. Granted, he's playing Kansas City, and though I'm a fan, I'm still willing to admit that this is a team who I think almost any quarterback can put up 40 points on. I don't think he's obviously going to get those kind of numbers moving forward, so I would not expect those kind of numbers from Matt Humphries in the future. But, he's got solid performances from Demaryius Thomas, Andre Johnson, and Ray Rice. Demaryius Thomas is really the biggest surprise here. If Peyton Manning continues to do as well as he has done, we may be looking at some consistent numbers from Mr. Thomas, but again, it's still too early for me to put a lot of faith in Peyton Manning, and with that said, again, still too early to put a lot of faith in Demaryius Thomas. Those are the league matchups this week, or for last week, Other than that, you've got the league post. Batman got 8 points, or 8 votes, and Daredevil got 1 vote. That's interesting. Why is it that everybody thinks that Batman can beat out Daredevil? Daredevil's pretty cool. He's got sharpened senses, all of his 5 senses, which I think puts him at least on par, on equal level with Batman's ninja skills. So I'm not really sure why everybody thinks that Batman's got such an upper hand and an advantage in Daredevil. In fact, I think maybe on a rainy day or if there was smoke in the air or something like that, Daredevil would kick the crap out of Batman. So I think you guys are all misled and just influenced by the hype of the new movie featuring Batman. So again, you know what? Break from the mold. Batman is not that cool. Besides that, we've got this week's matchups. It looks like it's Thursday night currently, and we've got a game going on. Looks like the big leader here is going to be Team Master Shake. It's about 7-10, so the Green Bay game is going on right now. He's playing Josh Bryce, and I'm impressed with the Packers defense, who currently at the half has 15 points. So it'll be interesting to see what Andrew does this week. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to do for now. It's been about 7 minutes. So, again, it's week 1. I do not expect to have a 75-point game moving forward. And you know what? I'm going to play it up the next time I beat somebody and make sure that that person knows that they got beat by this guy.